Welcome back to the John Trading channel. Bitcoin right now has been supporting off this area and is looking to make bullish pushes to the upside, as we've been confirmed just 2 days ago. Plus, we're getting this MACD histogram starting to become bullish, pushing above the zero line. Plus, Ethereum is looking even more bullish than Bitcoin, never going below this support level and getting even higher pushes to the upside. Plus, I have a lot of crypto news to go through with you today, so make sure you stay tuned until the end of the video. If you haven't already, make sure to leave a like on the video, make sure you're subscribed for future videos, and leave a comment if you're enjoying these daily crypto videos. First, in Bitcoin news, ever wondered why 26% of consumer households in Turkey hold Bitcoin? Breaking news, the Turkish lira dropped over 20% after the president was re-elected. You can see how their currency is just absolutely crashing. Whereas if they own Bitcoin, like over 25% of households do, then at least they're staying stable to the currency, if not actually going up, because Bitcoin has been bullish after the last few days. It shows why we need global adoption of crypto, especially for these countries where their currency can drop over 20% overnight. Next, talking about the US debt ceiling. The market is reading this debt ceiling wrong. The US was never going to default, so there is nothing to celebrate here. Also, once the debt ceiling is lifted, Treasury will need a huge inflow of USD. They will sell treasuries 1 trillion immediately, dry up liquidity, and force the dollar stronger. Trade with caution. As you would know, there's been a trade deal actually confirmed now where they're going to basically increase the debt ceiling by $4 trillion. They're just kicking the can continuously down the road. It's absolutely disgusting for the currency, and it shows why we need crypto adoption, because with Bitcoin, there's only 21 million coins and you can never just create more just because you need more. Next, being in crypto is exactly like this. Day to days, it's going up, it's going down, it's going up, it's going down. After years, we are making that slow and consistent upturn. And over decades, we're getting those massive returns in the market. And that's how we need to be thinking. It's better off not to be day trading these markets, but actually look to get positions over months, or even years, potentially decades, if you can hold for that long, because that's where the real gains are going to come from in crypto. And lastly, I'm always harping on about risk to reward ratios and win rate in your strategy. So on this left-hand side, we've got risk. Then we've got win rate up the top here, showing that if you have a one-to-one risk to reward strategy and you only have a 20% win rate, then you're actually losing in the market. You need to be up to this 60% win rate using a one-to-one strategy to actually be profitable. But what if you use a 1-to-3 risk to reward strategy, where say you're risking 3% on this trade, but you're looking to gain 9%? Then you can see having a 30% win rate is actually profitable in the market. And a lot of you would think, oh my God, how can a 30% win rate be profitable? It's because when you're using risk to reward into the win rate, using the trader's equation, you can actually calculate exactly where you'll begin to be profitable. You can even see, as I know, some people only have a 20 to 30% win rate in the market, but you can see 20% win rate at this 1-to-5 risk to reward level, saying you're risking 2% on this trade, but you're looking to gain 10%. That would mean that you're actually profitable in the market using this particular win rate with the right risk to reward strategy. So you basically need to find what type of win rate do you have, and you need to match it with the correct risk to reward strategy to be a consistently profitable trader. Now, looking at the daily chart on Bitcoin, you can see that the last few months we had this positive turning EMA, which actually tells us that the probability is higher to be buying in this market than it is to be selling. Then we had this bit of a sideways movement, and we even had a downturn in the EMA. So in these areas through here, which is like what I like to call the value zone in between these two EMAs, it was actually a high probability that we were continuing to the downside, at least for the short term. That's why we had these bearish pushes, but we continue to have bullish pushes. We had these wicks to the downside, and people were quickly snapping up that price. This was the end of the 60-day Bitcoin cycle right on this bar here. So we've basically been going for just over 2 weeks. And since the last cycle was right-hand translated, it gives us a high probability or a higher win rate that the next trade is going to be to the long side. So through this area, we were having this downtick in the EMA, but we're beginning to uptick now. So what we need is this purple line to come above the orange line, and then the orange line to continuously be making that upward slope to the positive side. Plus, we've also got confirmation from the MACD histogram that we've had 4 days in a row of bullish momentum, shown by that positive uptick above the zero line, plus there being continuous high highs on the actual histogram setting. So you can see that in the market right now, there is more buying volume than there is selling volume. There's a lot of people buying and selling every single day, But when you look at the total volume, basically over the last 3 weeks, we've had continuous buying momentum. Although we were below the zero line in this level, we were getting continuous upticks, which were actually showing that there was more buying pressure than selling pressure. And we finally broke above this zero line, really confirming that now is the time to be looking for a trade in Bitcoin. And I'll show you my exact trade that I'm looking at on the 4-hourly time frame. As I spoke to you about in yesterday's video, coming over to the 4-hourly time frame, I was looking for a trade in this area. The reason being is this is the value zone for the exponential moving average. And once price comes back into this area, you will see a lot of buyers come in. But you can see, what does this also line up with exactly? We have a perfect confluence zone right in this area here. Initially, this was resistance, resistance, resistance. Once resistance gets a strong breakout to the upside, it's then going to act as a support level. So we've got a confluence zone where we've got these two EMAs with the perfect value zone, plus we've got confluence using this resistance flip to actually act as a support level before we get another big push to the upside, potentially to the $32,000 per Bitcoin. The reason I wasn't overly bullish in this area is you can see the EMA through this area was basically sideways, slightly up and slightly down. But back through here, we had that downwards trending EMA, which signals to us that there's high probability of shorts continuing in the market. Once we started to get that sideways, the goal is to be in a trading range, is to be buying low in these areas and then selling high in these areas. That's what trading range is. You buy low, you sell high, and you scalp. Simple strategy. But now that we finally got this breakout, I'm looking for this area to come down and retest in the value zone. Plus being this support and resistance flip, it's a perfect area to look for longs for Bitcoin. Now coming over to the Ethereum chart on the daily time frame. Again, through this area, we had that positive tick on the EMA, showing that all in these areas, there was a high probability that we were going to continue to the upside. We did have a bit of a downturn in this area. We tried to really go lower, but you can see Ethereum was even more bullish than Bitcoin, as we never had a bar that actually closed below this support line. We had plenty of wicks that came down, but as soon as we came down, you could see what price was getting snapped up. On the MACD histogram, we've had more and continuous bullish pushes to the upside. So Ethereum was leading Bitcoin on this particular chart, showing that there's more bullish momentum than there was bearish momentum. And if you look now, we are having this EMA actually tick to the upside. And as I was talking about, what I'm waiting for on Bitcoin is the purple to break above this orange line, and it's already happened on Ethereum. So Ethereum is being the leader here in the market, actually showing us that there was high probability to actually go to the upside, again being confirmed by the MACD, being confirmed by the EMA, and also being confirmed in this support level, because we were never able to break below, whereas Bitcoin got a couple of breaks down below here, and we've got a bar that closed on its low here and another bar that closed on its low, but Ethereum never has done that. Also coming over to the 4-hourly chart for Ethereum, through this area, we were sideways in this market. This was a strong resistance, this was a strong support, and people were in that trading range price action, buy low, sell high, and scalp. But we're finally getting this really solid uptick on the exponential moving average, and again, I'm looking for this value zone retest, coming down into this price, retest some of these areas, as initially it was a resistance, then it will act as a support level, then pushing again to the upside. So this would be a perfect level to actually look for longs, and potentially what I'm actually waiting for in the market. We might have another small downturn into this exponential moving average, then we'd be looking for buys in the market. Back through this area here, you can see that the EMA was downturning a lot, and every time we came back into these value zones between these two EMAs, it was a really good sell in this area. And now we're doing the exact opposite. Right through this area, we're getting continuous pushes on the upside. So every time we come back to retest this value zone, it's going to be a buy in this area, since the EMA is signaling to us that we're now having bullish momentum in the market. Also confirmed by the 60-day Bitcoin cycle. Also confirmed by the MACD histogram. So in this level, we're getting multiple confluence zones, which is what I look for in the market. I don't just want one particular strategy to say, yes, it's better to look for longs in this particular area. I'm looking for multiple different strategies: MACD, EMA, support and resistance flip, 60-day Bitcoin cycle, all pointing in the same direction. And when that does happen, it will give me a higher win rate in the market. As I showed you earlier in this video about the trading chart using win rate and risk to reward strategy, when I can increase my win rate, I don't even need to use that 1-to-5 risk to reward ratio. I can use a 1-to-1 with a really high solid win rate, which we do have in this particular market. Reason being is we have that multiple confluence zones. But if you're only trading off one strategy, the best you're going to get is basically a 50-50% win rate strategy. And then you need to adjust your risk to reward ratio to actually compensate and make sure you're having that high enough win rate. You then need to adjust your risk to reward so you can actually compensate for that lower win rate strategy. Whereas now, I think we have a 60, somewhat 70% because I'm getting multiple confluence zones telling me that buying is better in the market. So I really hope you've enjoyed today's video. If you haven't already, leave a like on the video, make sure you're subscribed, and leave a comment if you're enjoying these daily crypto videos. I'll see you in tomorrow's video.